From what I'm reading, organic American elderberries contain powerful amounts of antioxidants, vitamins A, C, B6, thiamine, riboflavin, niacin, folate, calcium, iron, magnesium, phosphorus, potassium, and copper. They're also known for boosting the immune support system and helping in flu prevention and recovery. And the concern I have is that when I'm making my own elderberry syrup, I go to the University of YouTube, and the information I'm getting out there does not all jive. And so I'm very concerned that if I'm overcooking or undercooking this syrup, that I may not be getting the quality stuff that I want. And undercooking it may give me too much toxic stuff in there. Overcooking it might be depleting the juice of what it really needs to keep us healthy when we have flu or cold-like symptoms or whatever. So that's my concern. And so I'll show you what I'm doing, how I'm doing it, and I'll talk about a little bit about why I'm doing it the way I'm doing it. And I am new at this. I am looking for more information. So if anybody can provide me with the science behind how to make elderberry syrup properly, and back it up with the research results from universities that may have this information, I would really, really appreciate it. Most sites I've watched on the internet say, bring your elderberry syrup to simmer and leave it there for 45 minutes to 1 hour. Is that the best thing to do? Should we be more particular about our time and temperatures? So I keep my elderberries between 200 and 180. I do it with an induction stove because it responds immediately. I keep my eye on this thing and I stir it. I never leave it. I would like it to be between 200 and 180 for at least 10, maybe 12 minutes. I don't know what the real parameters are supposed to be. I'm trying to find out. I've heard that they need to be between 180 and 200 and for no longer than 10 minutes, but I'm getting mixed information out there, and I would like to have a legitimate source. A university has done research on this to give me the numbers. So anyway, just gonna hang in there. I also put in my cinnamon sticks and cloves, actually powdered cloves. And what else was it that I put in there? Ginger. And so I'm gonna watch this real close and keep it in those parameters, because I don't want to destroy the goodness of the ingredients in here by getting it up above 200. And I need to make sure that we get rid of the toxic stuff that's in there. So I'm right about 11 minutes right now, and I've turned the little stove off. I have, let's see, about 2 cups of berries and 7 cups of water. These are the berries that I use. I get them from riverhillsharvest.com. So I ran them for 12 minutes, and I took them off the heat, off of my induction stove, and I'm just putting them on a cool surface right now, and I'm just letting the temperature come down. Okay, so all the strained stuff goes back in the cleaned out pot. So I'm gonna put this in our compost heap. While I'm waiting this to cool down to about 110 before I add my honey, and this is raw, unfiltered honey. One of the other ingredients I added at the very beginning was the juice of a whole lemon. This is not organic, couldn't find organic anywhere, so just did the best we can with this. So yeah, I am concerned when I look at all of the ways that are out there to make elderberry syrup. I get nervous because I'm not sure that there's science behind a lot of those things. Maybe they overcook it too long and the ingredients inside the elderberry diminishes. Maybe they undercook it, overcook it. I think for the most part they may be overcooking it, because I see them bringing things up to, up to boiling, and then they back it off to simmer it. And when I bought this thermometer and watched how that was being done, I realized, oh my goodness, this is really way over what they're recommending for heat for these things. And I don't want to damage or destroy the ingredients that make elderberry syrup have all the wonderful properties that it has. And so I just wish I had more of the science behind this. And I've looked, and I think I ran across one site that was done by a university. I think they said somewhere between 170 and 190, but I can't remember, and I'm having a hard time finding that. And so anyway, I would like to know for sure what is recommended for time and temperature for these things. Of course, I'm not using the fresh elderberries, I'm using the dehydrated, so the dried. And so I soaked mine for, it was about 3 hours I soaked that. I think I mentioned that already. And then I turned it up on my induction stove, and I controlled very carefully the temperature, which you can do with an induction stove very easily if you watch it, if you stand right there and watch it. And if you're only doing it for 10 or 12 minutes, if that is sufficient time, then it's not such a big deal. Is it sufficient time? And I know the temperature is probably right in there, but is it sufficient time to get rid of the toxic part of the ingredient in there? So I'm not quite down to 110. And on the internet, they say, hey, when you can put your finger in it, like I'm doing right now, then you can go ahead and put your honey in. Well, that may be true, but what if it's not? What if you're wanting to keep all that nutritious stuff with the raw unfiltered honey active like it needs to be? And then I hear that it needs to be down to at least 110. And on this thermometer, it's not quite there. So I just want to do the thing that's going to give me the best quality elderberry syrup. That's not a bad thing, is it? Also, for this quantity of elderberry syrup, started out with 7 cups of water. They would recommend probably at least 2 cups of honey. That's way, way, way too sweet for me. And I did add lemon because I was told that if you can change the acidity, then that will take care of some of the storage. Like in the refrigerator, you have to have a lot of honey so that it won't go bad, and store it for a month or 2 maybe. That's why they use so much honey. But that if you use the lemon, that negates having to use so much of that honey. And so I don't know. I just want to know how to do this process right. Not asking too much as I add my honey to taste. Starting off with 1/4 cup first, or about that. I will just add to taste until I'm happy. It was full and I added that much. Now I'm gonna go taste it. Not enough. I need it to be pleasantly sweet, not overly sweet. Then, okay, we'll try this. Almost, but not quite. Okay, let's try this. Let's check it out. Okay, so I've determined how much honey I've used as I just poured this in at random. And been able to determine that it's between 1.5 and 1 3/4 for my tastes. Of course, you can add the 2 full cups, even with less elderberries, and that might make a lot of people happy. But this is making me. So by adding 1 5/8 cups of honey, I ended up with almost 2 quarts. What am I going to do with 2 quarts? Can I use all that in a 2-month period of time and hope that it stays fresh in the refrigerator? Let's just hope that it's potent enough and that it has the kind of qualities that keep the vitamins and the antioxidants good, like they need to be, to make this something that can help with colds and flu and what have you. This is what I ended up with. 4 16-ounce bottles. That'll do me just fine. Sure could use some good critique on this from people who really know what they're talking about, who have the science to back it up. and the research to back up how to properly make elderberry syrup, that it contains all the good ingredients that haven't been overcooked or undercooked. And just to let us know what's really going on out there so we can follow this precisely, or more precisely. All right. Yeah, I just want to do this elderberry syrup thing right, so that we get all the benefits we need, and that we have some science behind this that we can rely on. And it's coming out of the universities. I would like to see what they're up to and give us more information. Maybe the information's out there. I'm just having a hard time finding it. So if you run across anything that could be helpful to me by way of making elderberry syrup properly, let me know. SeaIslandOrganics.com is another place where you can order some good products that have to do with elderberry. And this is a particular tea. And they come out of Charleston, South Carolina. And they provide the things that you need to make the tea. And they're very reputable, have a good reputation, certified by the state, the only ones in South Carolina that are. And so I just might reference them for those who want to go to that website and check out what they have for products. Elderberry cuttings that I got from my son Joshua. Just like last year, I stuck these sticks in the ground. I want to show you what they did. One stick cutting, one season's growth, and look, it still has green leaves on it. I don't understand that. And not only that, it's like it's still trying to make these little pods, and it's just amazing. And look at this, flowers. And you know, in the last week, we've had temperatures that are in the mid-20s and upper 20s for 3 nights. And it's been pretty doggone cold. I don't understand this. How come the leaves haven't dropped off this thing? This is an Adams 2 that I planted in the spring. And I planted 3 of them. And they did really well. And then the leaves finally dropped off when it got cold enough. But this is the Adams 2. This is the Bob Gordon. All the leaves have dropped off. That's 1 year's growth. And I planted 3. And these are the Ranch. And this is 1 year's growth, and they would be bigger had the deer not cooked them back by eating them. I am very unhappy with the deer. But anyway, now let me show you the others. The ones that my son gave me. He didn't know what kind they were. He got them at a farmer's market. And I guess the farmer could have told him, but they're extraordinary. I mean, look at this. I don't know what kind they are, but they're maintaining their leaves right now. The deer have hardly touched them. You can see that the deer have touched them. They come and they eat the tops off. Look at that. And look at that. And so I got some more cuttings from my son just recently, and I've put them in the ground. There and there and there. Plant them in all this mulch. Well, I didn't have much space left in the yard, and this was the worst soil I had in the entire yard. All red clay. Nothing grows here. Hot in the summer, but everywhere I've put this mulch from my gardens, I've had phenomenal gardens. I don't plant in the mulch. I dig down to the dirt and plant in the dirt, and then bring the mulch up to it, because it's a nitrogen problem, I understand, if you plant right into the mulch, and you don't want to do that. But I've had great luck, great fortune with these mulch gardens.